everybody, and welcome to the 2020 Absa Top 10 Olive Oil Awards. Oh, I'm so excited. We are doing things a little bit differently this year, but trust me, it'll still be super entertaining. We'll be sharing various tidbits about the industry, a lovely olive oil infused dish by yours truly, and most importantly, the announcement of the Absa Top 10 winners. Absa has supported the South African olive oil industry since 2013 by recognizing and awarding the best locally produced extra virgin olive oils in the country. In an industry where many top quality EVOOs are produced, being an Absa Top 10 winner speaks of excellence and the dedication to the craft. Now, before we get down to the business of food and the winners, let's hear what John Shabalala from Absa has to share with us.
Good evening. I'm sure you will agree that 2020 has come with its own set of challenges and opportunities. We have been forced to look at the way we do things. So on behalf of Absa, it gives me a great pleasure to welcome you all to our virtual Top 10 Olive Awards ceremony. A special word of welcome to the Olive Association members, to the members of the industry, to my Absa colleagues, but most important, everyone who has taken time to join us this evening. This year, we enter the 5th year of the Absa and SA Olive Partnership. The partnership was fostered to enable excellence and growth of these proudly South African olive oils. The strides the industry has made globally over the years stand testimony to its success. The local and global socio-economic pressures we are experiencing demand a long-term view of how we maintain and develop excellence. As a growing industry, the olive producers play a critical role in job creation and significantly contribute to the growth of the South African economy every year. The Absa Top 10 Olive Oil is renowned for its quality and fly the South African flag with pride at a global stage. As Absa, we understand that the SA olive industry, as it is the case with many other industries, has experienced unprecedented challenges. That said, we are committed to do more in supporting this industry to ensure that everyone in this sector can say, I can overcome and thrive. Our relationship with the SA Olive Association is precious to us and it's an embodiment of Africanicity, working together to grow local industries which are essential to the South African economy and society. Long may this relationship flourish. I would like to wish a heartfelt congratulations to all the finalists and our top 10 winners. It is a remarkable achievement to be counted as one of the top 10 olive oil producers in this prestigious competition. Absa would like to wish you every success in the future. Baya danki, enkosi. Thank you.
Thank you, Absa, for putting the spotlight on the local olive oil industry. South Africa produces only 1% of the world's olive oil, so we're a pretty small player. That's hard to believe when you look at how well our oils do in international competitions. They really do shine on the international stage. This year, our tasting panel certified 197 oils as extra virgin, which means consumers are really spoiled for choice when shopping for local extra virgin olive oil. Look out for the CTC seal. It's your assurance that the olive oil that you are buying is extra virgin, fresh and locally produced. And I will be cooking with this delicious local olive oil a little bit later. Producing world-class olive oil is not an easy task. Producers are faced with various challenges like droughts, this year's unpredicted global shutdown, as well as competition from cheap oil imports. That's why the 2020 harvest, which is 30% up from last year, yay, shows the true mettle and commitment of our producers. Now let's see which oils made the cut for the Absa Top 10 trophy. First, we'll look at the delicate and intense winners. In the delicate category, Cederberg Olives Frantoio. A lovely fresh oil with herbs and nuts on the nose, good complexity and persistence with a balanced mouthfeel of basil and pine nuts. Soft bitterness lingers with green almonds and grassy aromas. Rio Largo Olive Estate, Rio Largo Gold. Complex with a fresh and nutty aroma on the nose. The mouthfeel is fruity, ripe, creamy with a lingering pepper, well balanced and sweet with an elegant finish. Kleinbergskloof Olive Estate, Frantoio. The olive oil shows herbaceous green aromas and tropical flavors on the nose, with almond and green bananas and a good bitterness and pungency on the palate. Unique and well balanced. A wonderful example of the flavor wheel for a delicate EVOO. Now for the intense winners. Mardeau XXV Intense. Good green fruit with hints of herbs on the nose, complex, grassy, rosemary and lovely pepper in the mouth. The bitterness is intense but fades away to make space for a lovely pungency. Good harmony, complex and a wonderful example of an intense EVOO. Porterville Olives, Ardente Intenso. Good fruit, fresh herbaceous on the nose with hibiscus, artichoke, green grass and lingering pepper on the palate with hints of tomato. Fresh and well balanced with a good persistent pungency and bitterness, which were all integrated. A huge congratulations to the delicate and intense winners. Besides making consumers happy and healthy, the local olive oil industry also employs about 12,000 people. The SA Olive Mentorship Program is one of the investment the industry makes into its people. This program is part of the industry's transformation drive and has been going for over a decade. It continues to produce great results for the individuals involved, as well as more know-how and skills to businesses they are part of. Right, let's get cooking with some delicious SA olive oil. Right, first things first, we're going to get on with the olive oil. You need a saucepan and your delicious local certified olive oil. You need about 1/4 of a cup. So into the pot. And this I'm going to flavor with a bit of rosemary, fresh rosemary. You could use thyme as well, or some sage would be lovely, and a bit of garlic. Because what we're making, which I haven't mentioned, is a delicious mushroom and spinach phyllo tart. Now phyllo is one of those pastries that has no fat in it, so all the flavor is going to come from the olive oil. So you need about 1/4 cup. Right, olive oil is in. Now I'm going to add a few sprigs of rosemary, just to add a bit of, herbaceous aromatic notes to this. The olive oil is already really delicious, and this is just that added extra. And like I said, you could use whatever herbs that you like. And then I'm also going to just slice up a garlic clove, just into chunks. No need to chop it really finely or really precisely. And that goes in there. Just a smidge, just a pinch of salt. And a little bit of pepper, because remember, this is what's going to flavor that phyllo pastry. And then onto the heat. And what we're going to do is we're going to heat this just until the garlic starts to sizzle. Then we're going to turn it off and leave it to infuse. Remember, you don't want to burn this, so keep an eye on it. Right, while the olive oil infuses, it's time to get on with the filling. So we're going to saute some mushrooms in some more of this delicious local olive oil. So just a couple of tablespoons into a hot pan. Then straight in with some sliced mushrooms. You could use button mushrooms, you could use brown mushroom, portobello, portobellini, whatever mushrooms are your favorite. I wouldn't use oyster mushrooms, those will go a bit slimy, but you could use any other mushrooms. I use 2 spoons to toss because I'm extra. Right, so once the mushrooms start to brown, it's time to add a bit of spice. This is my own spice mix, but you could use your favorite spice mix. You'll need about 2 tablespoons, so something like Cajun spice or yeah, your favorite spice mix. Time now to add the spinach. So you know how spinach does its thing. It wilts and turns to nothing, but first it sort of crowds your pan. So just do a little at a time, and this is why I use 2 spoons, because it's sort of easier to toss it and allow it to wilt. So basically all you're doing here is making sure that the spinach gets coated with all those spices and just begins to wilt, and that's going to form the most delicious filling for this phyllo tart. Right, that's beautifully wilted now. Heat off, and that can just sit by itself. Time to get on with the rest of the filling. For that, you need a bowl, and here I've got some cream cheese at room temperature. Very important to have it at room temperature so that it's easy to mix with everything else. If it's straight from the fridge, you'll find it'll lump up and it'll be really, really tough. So just give it a bit of a stir or a whip just to soften it a little bit more. There we go. Then to that, I'm going to add some cheddar cheese. So use a strong cheddar because obviously it's going to give you a much more pronounced flavor. Then to this, I'm going to add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. Give that a stir. And then it's at this stage that you want to actually taste this and make sure that it is seasoned. So remember, the mushrooms and the spinach are seasoned with your seasoning. This also needs to be seasoned because before you add the eggs, you want to taste it. Otherwise, you know, some people don't like to eat raw egg. So I always advise that you taste it at this stage for seasoning. Okay, the mixture looks good. Now time to add the eggs. You'll need 2 eggs for this. At this stage, I like to switch to a whisk just to make things a little bit easier to mix. So whisk the eggs into the cream cheese until it's smooth. Bit of elbow grease here. Right, so that's mixed in beautifully. Time now to add the spinach and mushrooms to this. So in it goes into the cheese mixture. You can already tell that this is going to be absolutely delicious. A great alternative for a vegetarian main course, a starter, even brunch actually would be great. So mix this all together. And this will be the filling for our phyllo tart. Yum! Okay, now onto the phyllo. Right, this is our phyllo pastry. So it comes frozen from the supermarket. Don't try to make it yourself. It's a very difficult thing. And yeah, don't be stressed about it if you've never used phyllo pastry before. It's very forgiving, very simple. So it's very, very thin pastry layers that have no fat in them. They've been stretched out, so they're really, really thin. But like I said, if you tear them, don't stress about it. Just keep layering. Trust me, the tart will be perfect. Right, so we're going to do 1 layer at a time. So just separate the layers and always keep them under damp cloth, just so it doesn't dry out. Okay, so I'm just going to get the first one, if I can. Here we go. There it is. Okay. See, mine's tearing, but no stress at all. We're all going to layer it all. Okay. Then time for my delicious local infused olive oil. The rosemary flavor and the garlic flavor has now imparted itself on this delicious extra virgin olive oil. So give it a brush and be generous with the brushing. So brush it all over with the oil. If you get some rosemary in there, that's perfect. So I like to just do a dab first and then brush it all over. Make sure you cover all the surface. Remember, this olive oil is now going to flavor this pastry and it's going to soak it up. It's going to give it that crisp, delicious texture. Okay, so 1 layer done. Then onto the next phyllo layer, and this one you're going to cross over. So you're not going to put it in the same direction. Cross it over and then repeat the layering. And like I said, if you've never used phyllo pastry before, please try it out. It is such a simple pastry to use. You don't have to make it yourself. Really convenient. And the texture, delicious. The pastry is now layered with the EVOO. It's time to pop it into the tin. Here I'm using a 20 centimeter round cake tin with a loose bottom. This is going to help you take it out at the end. Also, make sure that you preheated your oven to 180 degrees. And all that's going to happen now is I'm going to take this stack of pastry, flip it into the tin, and then we're ready to fill. Right, so lift the pastry. Remember the underside is dry, so don't stress too much. Then flip it because you want the side that has the delicious EVOO on the underside to make sure it doesn't stick. Then just gently press it into the tin so it fits, making sure that you get the walls all neat because you've got to make space for that delicious filling. And speaking of filling, it's time to pop the filling in. So all you need to do is spoon it straight into the phyllo crust. Go. Make sure you get all of it because it is delicious. Go. Then at this stage you want to make sure that you press it down, just so when you take the tart out of the tin, it doesn't sort of just collapse on you. So just press it down gently, just like that. Then this phyllo overhang is also going to give us delicious crispy bits. So all I do is just fold it on itself very lightly and tuck it in. So fold it over and tuck. Fold it over, tuck. Fold it and tuck. There we go. Then any dry bits of the pastry that you see, just take more of that EVOO and give it a dab. Then we're ready for the oven. This now needs to bake at 180 degrees for 30 minutes. So remember, everything is pretty much cooked. You just want the filling to set and the pastry to go golden and crispy. And then almost time to eat. Into the oven. I'm making a salad, a very simple tomato salad to go with our delicious tart. Very simple, and that's going to cut the richness of the tart. So here I've got some cherry tomatoes, just halved. Then to that I'm going to just season with a bit of salt and pepper, because you know how tomatoes love a bit of seasoning. Salt and pepper. Then I'm just going to mix a little dressing in the middle here. First up, we've got some Dijon mustard. You could use whole grain if you like whole grain. So you just need about a teaspoonful. Then to that I'm going to do just a squeeze of honey to bring out the sweetness in those tomatoes. Then a beautiful squeeze of lemon, fresh lemon. And a generous drizzle of local extra virgin olive oil. Right, give that a good mix. Gonna add a touch of chopped parsley, fresh chopped parsley, for a bit of color and a bit of brightness and lightness. Okay, mix that all together, and this is going to go beautifully with that tart. Delicious olive oil flavor, sweet tomatoes, the earthy flavor of that tart. Perfection. So here it is, our baked tart. This tart is best served at room temperature, but you can have it hot if you like. You can actually have it cold as well. Time to plate. And there it is, our delicious mushroom and spinach phyllo pie infused with local extra virgin olive oil. Oh, and those dressed tomatoes, so delicious. And pairs beautifully with any local award-winning Absa pinotage. Cheers to you. We caught up with the chairman of SA Olive, Nick Wilkinson, before the awards screening, and after hearing from Nick, we will be announcing the winners of the medium class of olive oil.
Good evening to all of you somewhere out there. This is very different to the norm of a gala dinner and pitching to a visible audience, or is this perhaps the new normal? What a year for our producers. Lockdown coincided with the start of the harvesting season and was in place throughout to the end. Much akin to getting into the boxing ring with at least one hand tied behind your back and still expecting to win. The tenacity, determination, and sheer commitment by all our producers has once again delivered the goods against all odds. Quality is exceptional, with a record number of medals being awarded at the SA Olive Association competition, and several of our producers have brought home the medals in numerous international competitions across the world. To all of you I say congratulations in a country where very little assistance is offered to keep in growing this industry and offering work opportunities to the many of our fellow South Africans facing desperate unemployment. The tasting panel had a hell of a job and a hell of a challenge in differentiating between the quality profiles of the top 20 gold medals to select the final top 10. We salute you to a job well done. And to the winners, my heartiest congratulations. Lastly, but by no means least, a big thank you to Absa, who have stuck by us in extremely difficult times. Your commitment and belief in us to deliver shows what can be done if we work together. Through your continued support, we will bear the fruits of our endeavours in educating fellow South Africans that not only is local liquor, but it is indeed world class. Cheers to Absa, and we look forward to meeting you again next year for a repeat, but under more normal circumstances. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Now, time to announce the final winners of the Absa Top 10. In the medium category, Challoner, the Peregrine Limited Edition. This oil surprised the tasters with tomato leaf, herbs, and very fresh notes on the nose. The palate is lingering with artichokes, pine needles, and green almonds. Lovely persistence with a balanced bitterness. Morgenstern EVOO. Lovely strong nose with a nutty and green herbaceous note, with a sensation of pecan nut skin and green banana in the mouth. Clean, elegant, balanced, a very complex extra virgin olive oil. PG Fruit Olives, Pai Paracore EVOO. A basket of fruit and herbs on the nose, fruity green notes with lots of tomato, eucalyptus, and rosemary. Strong pungency and a lingering bitterness, persistent and balanced. Wildekrans Wine Estate, Wildekrans Endless EVOO. Very green flavors with green tomatoes and olives on the nose. The mouthfeel is clean with a good persistence with a touch of rocket and green nuts. A very balanced and complex oil. Zoetigheid Frantoio. Beautiful, fresh green and herbaceous, enjoyable on the nose. Well balanced and persistent in the mouth with grassy and nutty notes. Well balanced with green aromas. A final huge congratulations to all of the winners of the Absa Top 10 olive oils. Thank you everybody for joining us today. I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful time. And just one final reminder to please make sure that you buy locally produced extra virgin olive oil that has the CTC sign. And don't forget, store your olive oil in a cool, dark place. Thanks everybody. Have a good one.